So in 2010, we're at the bottom 5% of all high schools in the state of Illinois. Our dropout rate was 7, our attendance was 78.2, our on-track was improving, but it was still in the 70s. When I came as assistant principal, then principal, very wise, said, what big problem do you want to tackle? And I said climate and culture, to improve teaching and learning in climate and culture. Service learning kind of crosses that bridge. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm telling this story. But then in 2012, when we got the school improvement grant, we were able to hire additional staff. Mm-hmm. And this is where we recruited Heather Pavona, our service learning coordinator. And so we convinced Heather to come on board. She had been the service learning star of the state, whatever the award was, but she was definitely on our radar. Mm-hmm. So she came over, and when you have a service learning coordinator, the most important thing to think about is how do you package the position in such a way mm-hmm. so it's an opportunity, not a burden. Mm-hmm. So what we did is we combined service learning with on track, and we released her for 4 periods. Well, last week our on track rate was 96%, right? Mm-hmm. And so God bless Heather Pavona.
Yes.
Right. So everything I'm talking about is done by other people. I just really tried very hard to stay out of their way. So at the same time in 2013, when we got the school improvement grant, we started bringing in other teachers to just sort of change the culture. We brought in a group of teachers who were deeply involved in the MCFA Challenge, deeply involved in Harris Fellows, deeply involved in Build On. We were already a youth guidance at a Gear Up school. So all of these forces came together, mm-hmm. and we became Chicago's first democracy school.
Right.
Super cool.
Right.
So what does that mean? So democracy school means that every kid does service learning within the curriculum. Mm-hmm. We have multiple partners who have service learning as a component of their programs, Build On, Youth Guidance, Gear Up. Then we have after-school programs, our culinary club, our environmental club, pick-up club, or dreamers club, that have service components to it. Okay. In our curriculum, we do a lot of scenarios. Mm-hmm. You know, you're writing the Constitution of the United States, you know. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do on the slavery issue? What are you going to do on states' rights? What are you going to do? Right. So all of those things kind of come together, and our success in service learning is a result of all of it together, not just one element pulled aside. Mm-hmm. So in 2013, Heather came, and we had already embraced the philosophy that service learning hours, for the most part, should be gotten out of the way by the end of freshman year. Class of 2015 had 16,453 service learning hours. So that averages out to 70 per kid.
Oh, wow.
Right. You can't do that if kids are picking and choosing individual projects. The only way you can achieve those kinds of hours is to have it be embedded within the curriculum. Mm. So in our 9th grade ELA curriculum, there are 3 service projects. Mm. And so what that means is, by the end of the freshman year, service is done. Right. By the end of the freshman year, every kid has been on at least one teacher in the service learning coordinator's radar. Do you have your hours? Did you get it signed off? Did you complete? So there's been follow-up for it. We focus on 9th grade to make sure that every kid has every opportunity to knock it out of the park in 9th grade. Where you get those big hours are when it happens additionally in other places throughout the curriculum as the kid matriculates over the 4 years. Just be really clear about what your vision is for the school. So at Hancock, every kid gets a shot at the middle class. And so we will lovingly kick their butts to make sure that they pass their classes, get their service learning hours, members get Bs, apply to the right schools, the match schools, and enroll. And what I see service learning doing is providing a vehicle for a kid to understand how important a role civics plays in being a member of the middle class and in preparation for the middle class, and how 12 to 15% of our students every year are undocumented. Even more important, the kids understand how civics works and what one individual can do to make a change. And that's what I think teachers feel too when they work in service learning projects, is they realize making a difference, making a change, doing the right thing. Hire the right service learning coordinator. It should not be Miss Smith because Miss Smith doesn't have anything to do. It should be Miss Smith because she's really good with kids, cares her social, civics, social justice compass is in the right direction. It has to be somebody who is detail-oriented and meticulous. It has to be somebody who's interested in running a budget. So it's an awesome teacher leadership growth opportunity for someone. So one, getting the right person. And now I meet with my service learning coordinator about once a week, but that's because she wears other hats as well. So service learning pops up in the conversation. I don't have a dedicated service learning meeting. I have a meeting with Miss Pavona, and all the 18 other things that she does comes out of it. Mm-hmm. So that's how we do it. So I think one of the most significant things that a school leader can do to improve service learning outcomes in the building is to use the systems that already exist. So, for example, we use Flex PD. We have grade level teams on our Flex PD days. And so that's where grade level team members can look at their curriculum maps and figure out, oh, you're doing that? I'm doing that. How can we do that? And there's an opportunity for a service learning project to grow out of it organically. Mm-hmm. At the actual grade level teams, which meet once a week during common planning built in the day, that's where the service learning component really gets a chance to dive in and get some teeth, because you build a project one year, the next year you do the same project, and so therefore it is expanded to U.S. history and world studies and history of Chicago, etc., other classes that well would do service learning projects. If you are asking teachers to do what they're supposed to be doing anyways, which is planning, collaboratively engaging instruction, where you're not only asking kids to research, ask and answer their own questions. So it's the inquiry component that really shoots up the rigor, because I can answer the questions that you, my teacher, no problem. But when I'm encouraged to answer my own questions, go out and do research, that's when I get engaged. That's when I want to run them to school. That's when I want to actually do a little bit more than where I started out. So it's standards-based instruction, collaborative planning on the teacher's part, rigor in the sense of true inquiry and giving kids not only the space but the resources to go out and actually come up with meaningful questions on their own, and then providing the safe system and structures for them to go out in the world, find those answers, and then more importantly, a true forum for them to respond and share what they have learned. Possible. Are we where we want to be? Nope. Are we better than we've ever been? Yep.